Alright, so we're gonna get started. I see I have one person watching. I figured after everything that was going on in the league, we'd have more people tuning in, but I guess not. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to watch me either. But, but this is the live show. This will go for an hour tonight. Maybe, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Depends on how fast we get through everything we got to get through. Um, First off, starting with the playoffs where we left off, we were talking about who was getting in and who wasn't getting in and all that jazz. Um, it was a competitive playoffs. It's always good to see. It was unfortunate the Texans couldn't play. Kind of gave a bye to the Browns to the AFC Championship game, but they proved worthy. They gave the Lumberjacks a good fight. Um, Speaking of the Panthers, we played the Giants, in a close game like we always do. Pulled it out, got to the Rams. First half, it was a hell of a battle. Second half, I don't know what I can say, man. We dropped passes, especially on third down. We dropped a lot of passes on third down, and we hadn't done that all season. And they caught everything. Even the guys that were watching the game made some comments about the catches they were making, and it happens, man. It seems to always happen to me in the playoffs, but I'm not one of those guys to really just be a jerk. So I give the Rams their props for making the Super Bowl, and the Lumberjacks in the Super Bowl just they really dominated that game. And those guys played a lot when they were in the same division together, so there's a lot of familiarity there. And ultimately, the Lumberjacks' pressure disrupted the Rams' passing game, and they got behind. They had to throw it more than they usually do, and it went from there. So congrats to the Lumberjacks, Jeff, for winning two in a row. That's only the second time that's happened in the league. The first guy that did that ended up being a jerk and leaving after a couple of seasons. But anyways, um, so that was the playoffs. Then we went into the offseason, re-signs, free agency, and let's take a look at some of the big signings that we've had in free agency this period. And there were a lot. This being the last season, guys were not shy about money. Um, we're gonna have a little bit of Al Bundy. Um, I got a quote from him about the Landon Collins negotiations coming here shortly. But first, let's go through these guys. Amir Abdullah signed with the Cleveland Browns, good running back, formerly of the Lions. Randall Cobb goes from the Packers to the Huskies. Pernell McPhee, formerly of the Panthers, is now a New Orleans Saint. Just for the record, I cut McPhee, Merciless, Keenan Allen. You're gonna hear those names on here for big signings because those guys got big money. And what we're all about in Carolina is I want to see people succeed. If I don't play a guy and he's good, or if I don't want him anymore, I just let him go. Let him go somewhere where he's appreciated, and it's good for McPhee to get the money that he got in New Orleans, but he's gonna lose to us twice a year. So, hey. Randy Gregory goes from the Cowboys to the Lumberjacks. Eric Kendricks, middle linebacker, goes to the Arizona Cardinals. C.J. Anderson, good running back, power guy, goes to the Seattle Seahawks. He had a very cheap contract. That's a good deal, under the radar signing. Clay Matthews, linebacker, goes to the Saints. Vic Beasley Jr., we're very glad to have him in Carolina. His number right now is 94. That's going to change. He's going to get a prettier number than that. Keenan Allen was released by the Panthers, now as a New Orleans Saint. I'm sure he'll be itching to play us, but we have plans for him. Johnny Manziel, somehow still in the NFL. Here, he's in the NFL. He's a Baltimore Raven. Jarrell Casey is now with the Cleveland Browns, big defensive end. Dorian Green Beckham, also with the Cleveland Browns. Whitney Merciless, mentioned earlier, is now an Arizona Cardinal. Ben Roethlisberger is a Washington Redskin at $28 million. They really wanted a quarterback. Everson Griffin, good defensive end, is a New Orleans Saint. Eric Flowers, good left tackle with the Rams. I think he's playing right tackle for the Rams. That's a smart signing. I like that. And then Landon Collins, who got 7 years and $191 million. Now, the Panthers, in negotiations with Landon Collins, they sat down and they said, Landon, what's more important to you, winning or money? And Landon told us, you know what? I've won in New York. I won a division title last year. I've had my share of glory. And then New York drafted a rookie in Adrian Ford. And Adrian Ford beat him out. Got beat out by a rookie. Ford won Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. And then New York said, you know what, Landon, we don't need you. Landon felt disrespected. He wanted the limelight. He wanted the spotlight. He said, I took the big money because I felt disrespected. And we said, well, Landon, if you're about money and you're not about the team, then hey, we don't need you in Carolina. We're going to offer you this. You like our scheme. You like our coaches. You like the bonus we were giving you. If you want to win, come here. If you want the money, go to Pittsburgh. But you're not going to win. So he took the money, and his family's very rich. But unfortunately, he's not going to win. So there you go. Anyways, Al Bundy told me to say that. He said he didn't mind being on the record. Those words came from Al Bundy. We put it all on the table. We want winners in Carolina. We want team players in Carolina. Landon Collins is neither one of those. But he's a rich man, so congratulations to him. All right. So, let's talk about some big trades that went down. I got a couple here. The Rams Saints trade. The Saints gave up a second round pick, and the Rams gave them Devontae Freeman at running back. Saints like to run the ball. I think that's a good trade for both teams there. Panthers and 49ers made a trade. Didn't really talk about it, but RG3 going to San Francisco, presumably to be the starting quarterback. The 49ers gave up linebacker Eli Harold, who is now going to be a full-time 4-3 defensive end, who came out as a 99 in that transition, by the way. Good pickup, both teams. Lumberjacks and Dragons. Lumberjacks gave up free safety Devin McCourty. Lumberjacks gave the number 6 pick in the draft. Good value. Both sides, I agree. And the Bills and Patriots turned the NFL on its head with their trades. Good grief. So, Rob Gronkowski and Brashard Perriman, two well-known Pro Bowl, All-Pro offensive players, go from the Lumberjacks to the Bills. And the Bills give up star left tackle Cordy Glenn, star tight end Travis Kelce, good receiver Kenny Stills, and some draft picks. So, the Bills are going all in. They have an offense that should not be stopped. They don't have any holes there except for on the line, which is why I'm assuming the Bills are looking for a first-round pick to go up and get the best lineman available in the draft, which is what I would do. I mean, if you can't protect to get the ball to those guys, then it's useless. So those are some big trades that went down in the league. Speaking of the draft, let's go through the first-round draft order as it stands right now. We have a day of scouting and trades right now, which is the period we're in before the draft tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's take a look at what we got. And we got 7 viewers. Wow, that's nice. That increased quickly. I feel special. So starting at the bottom, going to the top, number 32 in the draft are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 31, St. Louis Rams. Number 30, the Minnesota Vikings. Number 29, yours truly, the Carolina Panthers. Number 28, Houston Texans. Number 27, those. I think they're the Diablos now, Mexico City Diablos. I hadn't seen him around. He needs to show his face. Number 26 are the Minnesota Vikings. Number 25, New York Giants, which are CPU. We're looking for a Giants and Bengals owner. Number 24 are the 49ers. Number 23, Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 22, New Orleans Saints. Number 21 are the Baltimore Ravens, who will not be here. I'm sure they'll be open to trading their pick. Number 20 are the Arizona Cardinals. Number 19, the Toronto Huskies. Number 18, New York Jets, need to show your face. Number 17, San Diego Chargers. Number 16, Dallas Cowboys. Not sure if he's going to be around or not for the draft. We'll need to check on that. Number 15, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 14, CPU, Cincinnati Bengals. Number 13, Green Bay Packers. Number 12, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 11, Seattle Seahawks. Here's your top 10. Number 10, those London Bulldogs. Number 9, Detroit Lions. Number 8, Washington Redskins. Number 7, Grind Mode's Indianapolis Colts. Number 6 and number 5, Portland Lumberjacks. Number 4, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3, the second team in London, the Black Knights. Number 2, the Vikings. That pick is from Denver. And the number 1 pick in the draft are the Atlanta Falcons, who have not shown their face either. So, you guys that have not been around, we need you to come around and be active, and we'll be at the draft tomorrow night. It's the last one. Last one for the league, man. Come be a part of it. Now, in the chat, some guys have posted players that are available. Please make sure that you're posting that on the regular so guys know what you're trying to trade and what you're trying to trade for. I didn't have time. I was going to create a list of everyone that was doing that, but I'm on a time crunch today. So I will tell you that I've got Luke Grant, wide receiver on the block, star development guy. I had a couple guys ask me about that. I will get back to you after I'm done with this. A defensive tackle I have is Walton. I posted his stuff in the group chat right before this started. He's a star development guy. I think he'll be really good. If you give him a little XP, he'll be as good as Lucas and Short are for me. The Texans just posted Case McCain, the quarterback, on the block. Case McCain is star development. I traded him to the Texans a few years ago. He's developed him really well. And if you need a quarterback, that's one that'll get it done and do a really good job. Vikings posted they have players on the block. The Lumberjacks posted Cordy Glenn, left tackle, as on the block. I think he's just fielding offers. And that's what I've got right now in terms of who's available and who's not. Let's go over the award winners that we had on the year. For the 4th time in a row, the league MVP was Cam Newton of your Carolina Panthers. And Cam couldn't be here for the live show, but he did want to say that he's tired of winning this fucking award. And he would like someone else to come take it from him. So the challenge is out there. Please, someone else can be a league MVP. I won't throw the ball as much. I'll make it fair. Okay, I'll throw it less so someone else can get it. Ron Rivera of the Panthers was the coach of the year. AFC breakdown. Offensive player of the year was Case McCain of the Houston Texans. He had a huge year. I think he was second to Cam in about every category possible, throwing the ball. Just an incredible season. Defensive player of the year was Christian Kirksey of the Cleveland Browns. Kirksey had 13 interceptions on the year. And that's one short of the all-time record number of interceptions in a season. Who was it? Anybody? Dick Night Train Lane from the 50s. That, you gotta see look up some videos on him. That dude was nasty. Seriously. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Joey Houston, really good receiver for the Texans. He was number 2 to Kimbrell Spain for me all season long in yardage and catches amongst rookies. Defensive Rookie of the Year is E.J. Talbot of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talbot is a very good corner. Had a lot of tackles on the year. The result of some sim games before we had a new Steelers owner. Case McCain also won the Best Quarterback Award for the Texans. Best running back Latavius Murray of the Baltimore Ravens. He's the reason why I lost the one game I did. We couldn't tackle that guy. He deserves that award. He's a beast. Um, Best wide receiver Brashard Perriman. He did this with the Lumberjacks. He's now a Buffalo Bill. Perriman with his 97 speed, is really hard to stop. Best offensive lineman Brandon Brooks of the Houston Texans. Big offensive guard. He is a monster, man. I think he's 99 overall. Best D lineman was Garrison Wade of the Bengals. That's BS. Sim numbers. Best linebacker Christian Kirksey of the Cleveland Browns. We already talked about him. Best DBs Lonnie Ballantyne of the Houston Texans. Now I'm gonna tell you something about this guy. This guy started out as like a 72 overall free safety, and the Texans developed him, and as a result, now he's winning this award, and that's a testament to player development, and that's a hell of a job. He's a 6'3" guy. He's really rangy, really good player. Best kicker was Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. For the NFC awards, Offensive Player of the Year was Cam Newton. Speaks for himself. Defensive Player of the Year, Harrison Smith of the 49ers. Really good free safety. He was all over the place. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kimbrell Spain of the Carolina Panthers. And I tell you, I can't say enough about this guy right here, man. He would, we have Kevin White, and Kevin White plays the one, but this guy was the one that would come through in the clutch. I mean, at about mid-season, I stopped going to White and start going to Spain when I really needed something to happen, and this guy would get it done, man. And I tell you, usually I don't force the ball, and I usually spread it around, but he had to get it. He got the job done. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Eric Ryan, 49ers. He's another safety that did a really good job all season long. Best quarterback was also Cam Newton for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to tell you something. This is some bullshit. I ain't get my damn XP, man. I won damn 3 or 4 awards with Cam Newton, and I had like 8,800 XP. I don't get it, man. This game is broken. I'm ready for 17, and hopefully this stuff will be right. Best running back, Carlos Williams of the Toronto Huskies. Carlos Williams ran well in the Huskies offense. They ran a lot of 2 tight end stuff. And, he ran the ball hard and well inside and out. Best wide receiver, Mike Evans of the 49ers. Now, some of us, I've heard some things where Mike Evans was aggressive catching a lot. And that's why he got the numbers he did. I'm going to tell you this. There's a way to stop aggressive catching or slow it down. Play the man and not the ball. They tend to knock it out a little bit more. That's your free tip today. Best offensive lineman, Kalichi Asamili, Carolina Panthers. That guy, man, I tell you, we needed a yard or two. We need to run it. We're going to run right behind him. He gets the job done, man. Best defensive lineman, Santiago Knight, New York Giants. Really young defensive end coming off the edge. Had a lot of sacks this year. Best linebacker, Luke Kuechly, Carolina Panthers. And there's some games Luke don't play like Luke. But when he plays like Luke, that guy covers, man, he covers it up, man. He does everything. Best DB, Harrison Smith, 49ers. We already talked about him. Best kicker, Matt Prater, Detroit Lions. So, those are your awards for the year. Now, we're going to look at some teams here. Actually, we're going to go through everybody. And we're going to talk about what they need to draft. And this is going to take some time. So bear with me. But this is what this is all about. So we talked about the Bills. And we look at them, and they got all this offensive talent. They gotta find an offensive lineman, especially a left tackle, in my opinion. I think they need another linebacker here. Just looking at the roster, they got 10 million corners, and none of them great. So I think those are the top three positions the Bills need to look for. Quarterback, they seem to be okay. I mean, they ain't great, but when you got talent like you got, hey, they can make an average quarterback look good. London Black Knights, they hadn't been active. That just makes me mad, man. It makes me mad when we got guys in here and they, have a chance to upgrade their team and they miss the opportunity to do it. And then they're going to come back and talk about ain't nobody on the roster. Well, participate in the offseason and you'll have something. So the Black Knights need a lot, man. They need a lot. They don't have a lot of players. Um, I would start with getting some wide receiver depth. They only have two receivers. Their quarterback ain't bad. They have a decent offensive line, so it's not terrible. They're gonna have to draft. Well, the CPU is gonna have to draft because I don't know if he's gonna be here or not. The Jets almost made the playoffs last year, and he was one when he came in said he was gonna be super active when things settled down. He ain't been super active. Um, Offensive line's pretty good for what's there. Mechanic quarterback. They need a running back, I believe. Upgrades at receiver, definitely. Um, Defensively, they're not bad. They need another linebacker. But hey, they gotta be. You gotta participate, man. You gotta participate. So right now, that division looks like it's between the Lumberjacks and the Bills. Honestly, you look at the Lumberjacks. They made some smart trades. They picked up Bortles as their quarterback, which is an under the radar move on a very good contract, by the way. Um, I think they'll have to rebuild a little bit in the receiving department, but they have the number 5 and number 6 pick in the draft to do so. Um, Defensively, they kind of restructured a little bit, and I think they're still very talented across the front. Um, Linebacker, they're strong, and then corner, you still have Patrick Peterson at a high level, Trey Waynes, and Patrick Harden as the top three corners, and you can just sit in nickel and give people headaches with that combination. So, the Lumberjacks, I think it will go receiver early in the draft, and if you've done your scouting, it's a good place to be. Denver Broncos got in late and made a couple of signings and picked up Case Keenum at quarterback. They still have some good receivers there. They need a running back badly. They need a tight end. Defensively, they're not bad. They're not bad. The previous the last Broncos owner in the offseason, because we've had so many, drafted well. He got a lot of young linebackers on that team, so they're pretty good defensively. Offense is where the Broncos need to focus on, and they draft smart. They need some linemen too, but if they draft smart, they can turn this around really really quickly. I believe. Looking at the Chargers, they need a left tackle. There's not one on the roster, unless you want to switch somebody, which I do see a candidate for that. They got the Golden Child at quarterback. They're good there if they play him. The Chargers have a good roster, man. They got Langford Davis at running back. They're good at receiver. Good at tight end. Defensively, they got 299 defensive ends. They need some help inside at D tackle, I think, if they're playing a 4-3. Linebacker, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Corner, they got Verrett. They could use another corner. They need some help at safety. They need some help at safety. So secondary is where I think the Chargers should look first in the upcoming draft. Chiefs, taking a look at them. They're pretty. They're all right up front. You can see a couple upgrades there possibly. Hundley at quarterback, if they're dedicated to him, that's fine. But if there's a guy that shows himself early in the draft to have the right potential, I wouldn't shy away from taking him. Gurley at running back, you're good. Receivers, they got speed out the ass. Tight end, they're all right with a borrow there. Defensively, they need a defensive end. Well, it depends on what they're playing. If they're playing at 3-4, they might be okay. And they're really good at linebacker with Justin Houston still there. Um, and what they have, okay. I've never seen this before. They have no defensive backs, man. Oh no! I take that back. Technical issue. Technical issue. I was about to say, what the hell? Nah. All right, Eric Berry, Richard Jones at safety. They're good. Peters and Martin at corner. Um, they need a nickel corner, definitely. And you know, I wouldn't shy away from taking a nickel corner in the first round as much as people like to throw the ball. I've done it before, and it's been a good move. Oakland Raiders. God, technical issues, I swear. All right, Zach Arnold at left tackle is very good. Gabe Jackson is another good guy. Don't really need offensive line. They're set at quarterback with Derek Carr. Scott at running back has been a Pro Bowler. And the Pro Bowlers, by the way, we will get to that. I have not forgotten. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have time to put the article out with everyone that made the Pro Bowl. Receiver, they got Perez that has some speed. I think they're all right though. Tight end, they're good. They drafted a young kid, Gordon, last year. Um, Across the defensive front, they're very good. Linebackers are good. They need some depth. They need some depth at linebacker. And corner, they have some guys that are young and they are skilled. They just need some experience to grow. So overall, this is a very good team. A good team that made the playoffs last year, made the second round. And they're in good shape. Just enhance it now. Cincinnati Bengals, this is a CPU team. Actually, you know what? We won't even do the CPU team. Cleveland Browns, they had some nice signings in free agency. I think they did a good job. Up across the front, offensive line wise, they're not bad. Not bad at all. Joe Thomas is getting up there, but he's still playing pretty well. Kitchens at quarterback, they're committed to. Good pickup for Abdullah. I wonder what CJ Galvin thinks about that. Receiver, they picked up Green Beckham. That was good. That gives them a tall guy to go with the other guys they have there. They got the young guy, Ash, at tight end. That's good. Defensively up front, they're good. And Casey kind of brought that together. They signed Calais Campbell, another under-the-radar signing there. Covers up those linebackers. Sam Gray, outside backer, is going to have to be the one to step up there. He's young, but there might be an upgrade there. And they definitely need some help at corner. They're young. They got some speed. But I think you can get one guy to be your number one. That might bring that all together there. But yeah, not a bad team. Not a bad team in Cleveland at all. Baltimore Ravens, they missed some things, unfortunately. Looking at their roster here, they're pretty good up front across the board. They could use an upgrade at right tackle. Chris Taylor's good at quarterback. Of course, Murray at running back is good. Receivers, hopefully the CPU drafts them a receiver. Not bad at tight end, not a lot of speed, but the way he plays, he doesn't need a lot of speed at tight end. Need some upgrades on the defensive line and left end, and maybe D tackle also. Linebackers are good. I made a trade with him last year for Xavier Gooden, who's now 97 overall. Corners. You need some corners. You only have 2 corners on the roster, so maybe they go corner, or the CPU will go corner in the draft. Steelers. You have the bunny man Collins at free safety. We all know that. Selfish money man. Up front, the Steelers are not bad. They signed Tomlinson in free agency, left guard. Presumably they signed Flacco. I don't know if he's going to be the starter or not. They got Mosley there, the young guy. So they didn't pay Flacco starter money. So I guess Mosley will still be the starter. Of course, Bell is there. They talked about trading some guys. Bell has been on the block. Antonio Brown was on the block. Martavis Bryant's on the block. I don't know what he's looking for, but he said they were on the block. I think they need some D-line help there. They only have Cameron Hayward that I really like. Knighton's decent at D-tackle. Linebackers, not bad. Not a bad crew at linebacker. Of course, they had the rookie year, E.J. Talbot at corner. And I think they have some other guys. Well, Reedy, I think, is more of a nickel, maybe. Maybe they go some corner in the draft. But they're good at the safety position. Colts, well, I can tell you what the Colts need, but they're not going to do it. They're just going to go find another receiver to throw to. I can say that because I know he's not watching. Jaguars. Jaguars have, oh God, they have like 12 linemen, man. Cut some linemen. But they're not bad across the front. Evan Mason, there's their guy at quarterback, former Panther. Um, Yeldon at running back is their guy. They like to throw it. Of course, Malcolm Kenny and Allen Robinson are the guys there, along with Charles Johnson. Um, do they get another speed guy if he's there? I'm not sure. Julius Thomas at tight end. Maybe they go tight end. He's still all right though. He's still all right. Defensively, they need some depth. They need some depth up front, especially at D tackle. Linebackers, they need a little bit of help there at linebacker, unless they like Duncan, which he's okay. Corner, yeah, they need some help at corner, definitely. Safety also, so maybe secondary D-line or for the Jags to take the next level step. Houston Texans, kind of an incomplete feeling here. Missing a game in the playoffs is tough, but I have every confidence they'll bounce back. They need some help at left tackle, though. Unless they move one of these right tackle guys over. Even then, I think you need an upgrade. They're decent everywhere else. Said Case McCain's on the block. He's got Kaepernick on the roster. I don't know if he's going to make Kaepernick the starter or not. That's interesting. Pierce is a good running back. They're good at receiver, what they got. Good at tight end. D-line wise, they're not bad. Linebackers are good. Good linebacking crew. Corner, they are very good. Well, they're good at, I think, at the top two, 94 and 96 speed corners that are young there. That's really good. Free safety, we talked about Ballantyne. And Hallett, strong safety, is a good player also. Excuse me. And now we look at the London Bulldogs. Alright, so looking at their roster, they're not bad up front. Maybe an upgrade at guard. Mariota at quarterback's entrenched. Coleman is the running back. Receivers. E.J. Dean was a good young receiver this past season. They signed Carrier back. Speed at tight end. They got Kim and Kitchens. Run some 2 tight end sets with those guys. Defensively, they signed Copels, which kind of brought their D-line together. I think it needs some depth at D-tackle. Linebacking, they're young in some places. Maybe some depth there. Corner, they could use an upgrade, I think. And they got a lot of safeties. 4 free safeties. I know he likes Coleman a lot, but Coleman's kind of getting up there, so maybe find someone for him. Chung is up there too, kind of slowing down a little bit. So maybe some defensive line, D-line and safety help there for the Bulldogs. Now, the NFC New Orleans Saints um, signed a couple big names, but they still got Garrett Grayson at quarterback. I'm just kidding. Give him a hard time. Could use an upgrade at left guard. We know they got Freeman in the trade from the Rams. Keenan Allen was a good signing for how he likes to play. Um, he likes Hill at tight end, so they'll be fine there. The defensive front was upgraded with McPhee, along with Griffin coming over. Those guys will be tough. They will be tough to run on. Linebackers, he's going to get some depth in the draft. His starters are good. Well, the first two, Anthony and Bowman, he needs to upgrade it. Right outside linebacker. And in the secondary, he doesn't like a lot of speed. He doesn't need a lot of speed for the way he plays. So he signed some older guys and to leave at free safety. Um, I hope he can run with Spain. That's all I got to say. Carolina Panthers. Um, we're gonna get some offensive line depth in the draft. Excuse me. We got Cam and Caleb at quarterback. We'll be looking at another young guy in the draft at some point. 1-2 punch at running back's fine. Of course, the receivers. You guys know about the receivers. Luke Grant's on the block, but I'm not looking to just give him away. Tight end, we signed Michael Burton to go along with what we got already. Rodgers will be the starter, though, even though those other two guys are higher rated on daddy leagues anyway. The big signing was Vic Beasley Jr. He'll start at left end. We also got Deion Jordan in a trade with the Dragons. Deion Jordan will be a hybrid player coming in certain situations. Harold's opposite Beasley, both 99 overall guys. D tackles are good with Short and Lucas. Linebacking crew is good for us. Corner, the only thing with corner, we could use a little more speed, and we signed Marcus Burley as a result of that. Pryor's moving to free safety, which for us, he probably plays it just as well as Landon Collins would have. And we signed Denora Cersei at strong safety, but there's still some things in the works there. Al Bundy's not done. He's on the phone right now, as a matter of fact. Atlanta Falcons, I'm not going to talk about because they are not being active. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I did see them make a couple signings. Offensive line, they're decent. Maybe a left tackle upgrade. Of course, they got famous Jameis down there getting it done. Doug Martin. Even though he's 83 speed, he's still tough. He likes old receivers. I think he signed. It's not showing it, but I thought he signed Jordy Nelson. But I gotta check that. I might not have updated this since then. Defensive line. Of course, Gerald McCoy. The D tackles are good. Defensive end, they're not bad at defensive line. Linebackers, he likes Alonzo. I would look for an upgrade there. Upgrade at right outside linebacker also. Corners, he signed Rogers Cromartie. He's at 83 speed. He might be moving him to safety. I could see that possibly. But I don't know. But yeah, that's where the Bucs sit right now. So they got a couple places they can go in the draft to kind of upgrade their situation there. Minnesota Vikings made some signings they were proud of. I know he's proud of a couple of receivers he signed. I know he wanted to upgrade that after the playoffs. Offensive line wise, they could use an upgrade at center. Maybe right guard also. Bridgewater's good. Trey Mason, one of the league leaders in rushing. Signed Spencer Ware. It's a good signing for fullback. Receiver, he signed Jamison Crowder. I looked at Crowder, but I decided not to sign him. And he signed Sammy Coates. I think it's a good signing also. Pretty good at tight end, I would say. With Pruitt, I think he's pretty good. Defensive line wise, not bad. Maybe upgraded defensive end. Linebacking wise, maybe an upgrade at middle backer. But those guys are fast, so you might be all right there. I know you want to upgrade corner. I do remember that, and they still need an upgrade at corner. I definitely think they'll go corner in the draft. But they should. They should go corner. They've got 3 first round picks. I would not be mad if they take 3 corners. I mean, it's the biggest hole in the roster. It's glaring, you know, and maybe throw in a safety in there also. So definitely secondary for the Vikings. Green Bay Packers. I don't think they signed anyone. They talked about losing people, but I don't think unless CPU did. But we'll take a look here. Um, Upgraded left guard, upgraded right tackle. Rogers is still there. Didn't like Lacey. He was looking for a running back, but hadn't made a move for one. He's hurting that receiver. He needs a receiver. Defensive end, left end specifically. I think an upgraded D tackle. Middle linebacker. Probably corner also. Yeah, I would say so. Not bad at free and strong safety. Detroit Lions. Complain about losing guys. You got to go after somebody in free agency. He's got 4 linemen on the roster. So that's a spot. Stafford is still there. He lost Abdullah. He's got Theo Riddick, who, I mean, he's good for what he does. Calvin Johnson's still there, down to 79 speed. He needs receivers. He's actually good at tight end. Not bad at D-line. Needs linebacker depth. Starters are good. Darius Slay still there. Only got 2 corners on the roster. Needs some corners. Safety help. Free safety help. Move one of the strong safeties to free. You'll be fine. Dragons. I hate seeing good teams go down. That Lions team, you guys know how good Deontay was. Man, that's a shame. Dragons, another guy. You got to cut some linemen, man. You got 14 linemen on your roster. And even then, they're average. I think you can upgrade a couple positions there. Draft some young guys with potential stardom. He had Seth Thompson, the quarterback, on the block. I think he's okay. I would draft somebody though. Receivers, yeah, upgrade there. Charles Clay is decent. I guess you could look that. Well, he's got Grayson behind him, so definitely receiver, quarterback, offensive line. He signed Coney Ely, another guy we cut, wasn't gonna play for us. I'm glad he's gonna play here. It's not bad on the D line actually. Linebacker, you need depth. Corners, I would take corners too. He got McCourty at free safety to help that out, but he had TJ McDonald already, who's 93 overall. So I'm assuming one of those guys is going to go to strong. I could see that happening, but you got to get some corners too. So Dragons, you got some work to do, and you traded your first round pick for a 32-year-old free safety. I'm just saying. All right, Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks made a couple of smart signings I liked. Up front, they're not bad. Not bad up front. I would upgrade at center, or maybe play that Raymond guy. He's got nice pass blocking on him. Of course, Russell Wilson at quarterback's fine. C.J. Anderson was a good signing. Excuse me. Still got Dez at receiver with Curse. It's not bad. Jimmy Graham's still there. D-line's still pretty good. Pretty good. They're getting older, but that really doesn't matter. Linebackers are not bad. They're actually pretty damn good, actually. Corners. What's the speed on that guy? Yeah, I'd upgrade at corner. Definitely. Safeties are still there in Thomas and Chancellor, so. Seahawks aren't far away, man. They're not far away. Little corner help. St. Louis Rams. They're really good at left and right tackle. Good move to get Flowers for the contract he did. Surprised he signed that early and for that, but hey, it's a hell of a deal. He was trying to trade Matt Sharp at right guard, who I thought was decent. Um, you need a guard, you need to talk to him about that. Had Mason on the block. Yeah, I think he might keep him now. He doesn't have a running back, so that's obviously a place you should look at. Receivers, they're good. D line, they signed this guy Malden. Um, I don't know if he's going a 3-4 or not. I don't know where he fits in. Linebackers are good. Secondary, he signed Rollins at corner. I think that was a decent signing for a nickel. I think you need an outside guy. Um, and the safety, move Ryan to safety. That was a smart move. And Gilchrist there can get it done too. So not too bad on the Rams there. Cardinals made some good moves in free agency. I don't know what's going on with this music. I thought it was. Oh, there we go. I think an upgraded center is in place for the Cardinals. Um, Taylor at quarterback's good. Johnson's good at running back. He was among the league leaders. Receivers, they're good there. Tight end, well, he signed James Hanna, so he might want a speed guy. Lee Smith, I saw he moved him to fullback, so he'll be a blocking guy. Signed Merciless for a lot of money. A lot of money. Merciless is a good player. I don't know if he's great. He disappeared in big games, but their D-line is really, really good. Really good D-line. Their linebackers are pretty good. Pretty good at linebacker. I signed Kendricks there to kind of bring that together. Matthew at corner, of course, is a beast. Bowles opposite him is good. Safeties, he moved Maxwell to safety. I was looking at Maxwell for a minute. Kind of changed my mind on him. And Darian Stewart's good at strong safety, so Cardinals are in a good position. 49ers. Oh gosh, I think they need to upgrade at left tackle. Probably across the line except guard, left guard at that. They got RG3 in the trade with me. I presume he would start there. 87 speed. We all know Sanzo likes the cheese, so I guess I helped him cheese. Mike Evans, of course, at wide receiver is good. Oh, he signed Jordy Nelson. Okay. You might be moving him to tight end there. McKinnon at running back, of course, is good. Their other receivers aren't bad. D-line wise, I think a little depth at D tackles needed. Linebackers, I'm going to revisit this in Madden 17. And I'll talk about that another time. But their linebackers are fine. We'll talk about that in August. Corners are not bad. He'll need a safety. I don't know where. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about what I'm referring to here in August about moving certain players into positions. We'll talk about that. There'll be a couple new rules about that, but he needs a free safety. We'll just leave it at that. All right, last but not least, the NFC East, which was the toughest division to predict this past season. Offensive line wise, for the Redskins, they signed Michael Oher. Oh man, I hope he works for him. They need upgrades at left guard and center. They got Roethlisberger at quarterback, good move. They need some receivers, definitely. At running back, maybe a running back. I don't know if Jones is what they want. D-line wise, they need some D tackles, defensive end too. Linebacker, they're okay. All right. And they signed some guys in the secondary. Davis, Revis, old guys. And McCourty. McCourty's actually still okay, I guess. If you move to safety, maybe. Um, uh, man, secondary, they got to go secondary. That's where I would start, but they have a couple holes there. But they made a couple smart signings. Won't do the Giants because they're CPU. Toronto Huskies, I think, made a couple good signings. Offensive line wise, I think right tackle, they need to upgrade there. Gabbert, they seem to be committed to at quarterback, has done a decent job. Of course, Williams was the best running back in the NFC. Signed Randall Cobb, good signing. That helps their receiving core out a good bit. Um, Good at tight end there. Defensively, uh, they're okay. If they like their D tackles, they're not bad. Linebackers, maybe. They need some depth, definitely. Corner, I would look at corner for an upgrade possibility there. Um, Safeties are not bad. Maybe a strong safety upgrade. But overall, I think the Huskies made a couple smart signings to enhance their roster. And with the Giants gone, I think they're the early favorite in that division. Someone asked me about predictions or something like that. We could try something like that for this season. And maybe we'll stick with it for 17. Anyway, for the Dallas Cowboys, last team we're doing here. Offensive line, they got the best offensive line in the game. They're committed to Willis at quarterback. Gordon was a really good running back in the league for them last year. I would see some upgrades at receiver as a possibility. They're good at tight end. D line, they're going to have to replace Gregory, so defensive end is a priority. They got good young D tackles there. Now they got Dante Fowler. They got to switch him to defensive end. I think that'll solve their defensive end problem. But linebacker, possibly an upgrade. Sean Lee's getting older, and Fowler should move the D end, so they need a middle linebacker. Corner, they're not bad. Safety, I know he likes Prater, but I would look at an upgrade there. Um, but overall, that's what I think going into the draft here. Now we got 2 minutes left. I don't know how I got through that fast. Usually that takes a lot longer. But really remember, draft 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. All right, sharp. It will start on time because we pushed it back 30 minutes so more people could attend. Um, Remember how it works. No limit in the first round on your time to pick somebody. Second round going forward, you have a 1 minute pick limit. And you guys know after the first few times, I'm going to get aggressive with that minute. So have your guy ready to go. You veterans know how we do it. You don't watch the board. You put it on your guy when it gets close to your turn. And you pick your guy and keep it moving. After the draft, we stop. We don't go into preseason and all that like other leagues and screw everyone else who had stayed up till midnight. We stop after the draft, and this allows for position changes. I will open up trades after the draft. You can make trades about, based on what you got and what you didn't get. And we stay in that until the next night, which is Tuesday. So Tuesday night, I think I said 9 o'clock. We'll clarify it tomorrow on that Tuesday time. But Tuesday time is when preseason starts. That's when free agency opens. It's if you're on at that time, you go get what you need. There's no limits. And we advance it every 10 minutes. And we do every 10 minutes so you can do your XP for your rookies or whoever you want to do it for, and adjust your roster down to 53 guys. Make sure your roster's down to 53 guys by week 4 of the preseason, and we'll be done by then. We go through each week 10 minutes, and then around I guess roughly 10 o'clock, Tuesday night is when the last season, season 9, will start. Um, I just want to say, thanks to everybody um, for doing what you're doing, being active. For those of you that have been active, if you ain't been active, man, I really, I really got much to say to you. I think it's just a shame. You know, you can at least try if you're around. If you're not around, that's another story. But if you're around, try to upgrade your roster. Try to do something, man. At least try to make the draft tomorrow. If you don't make the draft, make trades the next day for what you need, and let's stay active into this last season here. Now, just a little bit about what's going to happen after this season. We're going to have a little bit of time after this season, and we're going to talk about Madden 17, and we're going to talk about rule changes because there will be a couple rule changes on how we do certain things. We'll be bringing more to the league in terms of things like this, um, power rankings, other little things we talked about. We talked about the YouTube channel in the chat. Streaming games we'll be talking about because it's no excuse why some people can't stream games now, especially when it's free. I mean, crap. We'll talk about that deal the Browns brought up about trading in your 16 disc, getting money off of 17, making it more affordable. We all need more money, so I think that's great. Um, and then, you know, we'll go into 17, and there's going to be a lot of different things that 17 offers that 16 doesn't. And there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to have to discuss among ourselves as a commission group. Um, and we'll get into that in August. And before 17 drops, we'll have a list of talking about all the different features and the way the league will run, because some things are going to change just because 17 allows us to do more. And one of the big things with that is full editing of players. Um, and I got to see how it's going to happen with the roster updates and things of that nature. If we can update every roster in the league in accordance to what drops from Madden, that could be one way of doing it. But I've heard other commissions talking about other things that they're discussing, so we'll get to that. But in the meantime, it's the last season. Everybody have fun with it. Um, I appreciate all you guys being here and playing the games and making this one of the best leagues around, in my opinion. We're getting to the point now where we have regulars, and that's what really makes leagues great, when they have consistency and regulars. And you guys know who I'm talking about. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. Um, let's have a great draft tomorrow night. If I'm up for it, there might be a post-draft show if I'm not too damn tired or frustrated that you guys stole all my damn picks. All right, thanks, guys. Let's talk about trades. Hit me up if you're interested. Appreciate it.